Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Bob Lucido and this is the Bearcat Training Camp. Well, if you've been following along, and I hope you have, you've connected with your why, you've started to block out some space in your life to get Beachbody into your calendar, you've started to embrace and hopefully implement the daily disciplines or your own power hour, whatever it's going to be, but you've really grabbed onto that concept of daily activity. And hopefully now you're also using the 50-10 rule to help get your engine started so that your business can really start rolling along. The exciting thing is here, after only a couple of steps, we've already got you active in the business and growing your business. And that's the point here. That's why we started right off just getting active with daily disciplines and introducing the concept of the sharing cycle so that we all know what it is that we need to be doing on a daily basis. Okay, so hopefully you're following the 50-10 rule now. You've got that dynamic, living, breathing, evolving 50-person contact list that you keep updating and backfilling in. These are the folks who are going to get your next wave of invitations to have an opportunity to engage further with you and step further into that sharing process and hopefully work their way, or you'll be able to sort your way to a living, breathing, dynamic, evolving hot 10 list. So we've covered all that. That's what you've got going on up to this point. So why did we start there? What are those things all in there for? What's the purpose of all of that? The purpose is to get you on pace. You're going to hear this is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, if that's the case, what is the pace that you need to be moving at? And let me just put an asterisk and a little footnote here and say, I'm going to just share with you the pace that I've used to build my business and what I've seen work over and over again within our own organization. Now, if your goal happens to be top coach or top 10, you're going to have to run a little faster, okay? You can still use the same concepts and the same ideas, but I'm going to share some numbers with you on the, let's say the slow and steady wins the race idea, so that everybody gets a sense right from the beginning of what it is that we're shooting for. Because the truth is, right at day one, right in month one, you can get on pace. You can get on the pace to build a championship team, okay? For me, it started in January of 2010 when I met someone who said this to me and put some light bulbs off, and I got on this pace. And again, getting on pace means you're going to run that pace. You can't run it for a month and leave. You can't run it for 2 months and say, oh, it's not working. It's a pace. Let me just say that within 24 months of my own running this pace, I was able to replace the income that I was earning as an attorney that took me 20 years to build up to. And this is the pace that has taken me onto the Millionaires Club, onto a team of 30,000 or so members, and all that fun stuff. Okay, so here's my pace. It starts with the daily disciplines, of course, okay? And you're going to hear that over and over and over again. You're going to love these daily disciplines, but that's what drives your business. The next step is Success Club. Success Club 5 or 10. And again, if you want top 10 or some of those other goals, which are all fantastic, then 5 or 10 might not be enough for you. But if you want to be on a similar pace that I've been on and build the similar kind of success, this is the pace that I've been on, and this is the pace that others have used on our team to also hit the Millionaires Club, to also build life-changing opportunities. Success Club, in case you don't know what it is, and we'll do a whole training on Success Club and why you should do it and all that, but quite simply, you're going to earn 2 points for every challenge pack that you sell. You're going to earn 1 point for every 90 PVHD, which is going to typically be HD Shakeology sale. And quite simply, that's it, okay? So you need to get at least 5 points. Set your goal to be 10, because there's some other cool things that happen at 5 and 10. At 5, you can stay into the customer placement program, and at 10, you're going to get those higher quality Shakeology customer leads, okay? But this is the pace right here, Success Club 5 or 10, and do the math. 5 points isn't that hard to get, folks. It's a couple of sales and a couple of shares. I mean, it's not just a couple of shares, of course. A couple of shares that end in result. And this is a monthly basis, okay? So all that stuff that we talked about, the 50-10 and the funnel, and it's all to get to this pace. Success Club 5 to 10. The second component, and this is a really crucial component, because this makes sure that you're not just spinning your wheels, this makes sure that you're actually building foundation and structure that's going to build two things, income and long-term sustainability. And that is 2 to 5 new personally sponsored coaches as well each month. And a couple of them could be also the ones that generate your Success Club points. That's cool because a new coach can sign up with a challenge pack, and then you get the 2 points for the Success Club and you get one of these new PS coaches. But here's the thing. You can't discount coaches in these. There's got to be at least a couple coming in each month that are going to be duplicating what you're doing. Okay? And in the beginning, you're just leveraging your team for that. You can, if you join this morning, you can do this, and you can even do the duplicating part, because you're just going to say, hey, I'm part of this brand new, super cool coach training program. Come on and do it with me. Let's do it together. Okay? Boom. You're starting to duplicate. Okay? So a couple, 2 to 5 is real nice, at least a couple new PS coaches coming in each month, and they can be helping you to get to this 5 to 10, but they're going to be duplicating coaches, which means they're going to come in and also join one of these training groups, or you're going to put them in your team, probably has a Coach Basics or whatever it is that you can plug them into. And obviously you're welcome to bring them right here if that works too. Whatever it is, we want you to start connecting with some business partners, okay? And a couple a month, that's it, okay? Next, rank advancing every 90 days. Rank advancing every 90 days. We used to call this 90 days to diamond. Okay, so if you're brand new and you signed up this morning and you're joining us, a good goal would be diamond within 90 days from now. If you're already diamond, then a good goal would be 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, 5 star. Again, it's a pace. And I'm not saying you can't go faster. I know some people have come in and they've gone 5 star in 6 months or something crazy like that. That's fantastic. What I'm saying is, for the rest of us who are coming in here, who are committing, who are having a long-term plan, remember we talked about that, 3 to 5 years, that's what we're here. Be here a year from now at least, just to get started, but we're building long-term. I mean, look, 24 months. I replaced an income that took me 20 years to build as an attorney. Okay, so we're not talking about insurmountable amounts of time. We're talking about getting on a pace and staying steady for that pace over extended time. And whatever that's going to be, I don't know what it's going to be for you. Okay? Because remember, there's no guarantees here. I don't guarantee anything. Beachbody doesn't guarantee anything. Everybody reaches the income level that is based on their own efforts, their own skills, their own input, all of that kind of stuff. So I can't guarantee where you might end up or what your particular story might sound like by the time we get to the end, but I can guarantee you that this is the pace that got me there, and this is the pace that I've seen get person after person after person there as well, and that's why we're sharing it with you. Okay, rank advance every 90 days. Just one more thought on that. Again, what we're going to talk about later is rank and volume and how those things work together to build income. So ranking up every 90 days is actually a pretty good pace to be on. That's why it's in my pace. Because it also gives time so that you're backfilling that network in, you're backfilling the volume in so that that rank has meaning to you and continue to grow you forward. Okay, last thing I have on here is advancing within the leadership ladder, and that's something new. I'm a fan of it, by the way, because I think, again, it shows you the kinds of things that you need to be reaching to be building on the right path to get to the kind of success that you want to get to. There's some great parameters in there. So you want to be looking at that. You want to make sure that you're advancing along, coming up the ladder at a reasonable pace. Okay? So before we leave the pace, because this is really important stuff, okay? It really is. If you want to finish the race and you want to finish it with some success, get on the right pace, get on the right pace right away. If it's going to take you 24 months in a row or 36 months in a row or 40 months in a row, whatever it's going to be, all of which, right, and in relative to what it may take in other opportunities to reach the same kind of success are pretty small bites, right? Okay, so whatever yours is going to be, these are the things that we're going to be doing. And some check marks along the way are these things. All right, let me share a few more things because I really want you to grasp this pace and get on it as soon as you can. Of course, it's all daily disciplines, starts on a daily basis, that's how we know. But weekly, what should we be thinking about weekly? Well, here's what I think are a few of the key things you want to be checking in on weekly and make sure are going on in your business. And I start right off with 2 to 5 three-way calls. And I talked about this when we did the 50-10 rule a little bit too. And again, in my humble opinion, the three-way call, which is you, the prospect that you're working with, and someone in your upline, or it doesn't even have to be someone in your upline. The cool thing about this group is we're a huge, fun cross-line group. Anybody else who can come in as your expert, and typically it is your sponsor, your upline diamond, your upline star diamond, or 5-star diamond, who comes in and helps. Okay, so when you've got someone who you've been working in your hot 10 and you've had a few conversations, and especially when it's about becoming a business partner and joining your team as a potential coach and business partner, then that is where you want to be able to bring in your existing business partner into that conversation, okay? Three-way call, or, taking a sneak peek. I know some people do the sneak peek thing. Let your prospect connect with your team at a different level and get exposed to your team, to your business partners, and takes the conversation out of just being between you and the prospect, okay? Get a couple of those going a week, okay? And think out of the box what that might look like. So group calls, get in with your success partner, however it might be, kind of brings to the conversation the collective and joint support that happens in this business. I don't know if that makes sense, but when you bring in your partners and you bring in your team to the conversation, especially when you're brand new and you're bringing in someone who's coming in as a quote-unquote expert who has already gone through the building process and had success, then your level of success in making that connection is just going to skyrocket. Okay? The next is at least one group presentation per week, and I really think this is key for new coaches especially, but any of us who are trying to drive movement in our business. And that can be a fit club, can be a shake and share party where you're sharing Shakeology samples and some cool videos and some pamphlets, can be a home party, can be a business opportunity presentation. I hope you're thinking along those lines. You want to include that too, sharing the business as well as the products. But the idea here is to getting in front of small groups, getting with small groups. Our business is relationship marketing. What we do as coaches, right? The first video is share, and we share collectively. We're always getting together in groups, and that's what you want to have going on in your business too. And again, think out of the box on that. I used to go to the park with my laptop and throw in an insanity video and have 3 or 4 friends show up at a park, and then the next thing you know, you've got other people coming and they're joining you, and you're outside, and it's a summer day, or if you happen to live somewhere where it's sunny all the time, then whatever time of year it is, it's a way to start sharing the energy of what it is that we do. And it also puts you in the energy of what we do. Those are all great finding tools and opportunities to have that find, invite, share process start by bringing people together. But just as important, it gets you in that other component of our daily discipline, which is living the lifestyle, right? Being proof the products work, living the lifestyle. If you've got a fit club going once a week, if you've got a shake and share going on once a week, I have a bunch of coaches in my organization who have built huge 5-star diamond and above businesses because they traveled around doing shake and shares at different locations every week. Wherever they could find where someone would let them set up a table and do a shake and share and do the sharing and do some finding, and do some inviting, and now they've got rock star teams. So that's just one example. Okay, so you get the concept. You want to be out there doing something to get yourself in front of groups, and you can do it online too. But I think there's something more powerful about doing it in person. But again, think out of the box. Who am I to slow anybody down? Figure out how to do that on social media. I do know people who have done virtual home parties and that kind of thing. So that's all definitely a possibility. Okay, that's weekly. Finally, final thought on this pace and defining the pace we want to be moving on is to think about some key categories. As we block out that Beachbody time, and as we start refining our activities that we're getting into our calendar, here's something else I want you to think about as you're looking at these things, driving you forward and helping you define those things. Here's some key categories that I believe you need to have in your business plan. And you need to be at least minimally proficient at each of these things, and maybe expertise level on one or two. But you gotta know how to do all of them, and I think you really need to have something going on in all these categories. And again, I'd love to see some discussion on the Facebook page on some others that people might be using as well. But here's what I've boiled it down to. You gotta have a local presence, okay, and I've talked about that a little bit. Your fit club, your shake and share, your home parties, your business opportunity presentation, your wear and share, your just letting the community know you're open for business. Beachbody's in town. People should know that, and you want to be very active in getting that word out. If you opened a restaurant, or if you opened a brand new retail store of any other kind, or if you opened a new gym, or if you opened a new health club, you'd get the word out, okay? Get the word out. Broadcast it. If you're going to start a fit club, get on the radio station, get in the newspapers and on all the local, media, Facebook pages, and wherever the clamor is, wherever the news is getting broadcast out into your community, you want to be in there letting people know that you're open for business, okay? And you need a social media presence. And again, not all of us are great. I'm not a social media rock star. I definitely am not. But, I'm definitely moving along, right? And I'm keeping up, or I'm trying to keep up anyways, just enough so that I'm there, right? You can find me. I have a social media presence. I have a local presence. Challenge groups. Again, here's a little bite of humble pie for me. I'm not a challenge group rock star, but I know how to do them. I know where the resources are in the online office so that I have all of the canned language that I can use for the program, so that I can be a support for people who want that kind of support. And there's many different ways, by the way, to be successful with challenge groups. You can do in-person challenge groups. You can do online through Facebook, or people are now using Instagram more and more, and other avenues as your venue. It's up to you. The idea is, are you being active with your customer group? Are you being active with people who are being active doing our programs. Okay, like I said, I'm not a challenge group rock star, but I'm always active with a group, whether it's a small group or a medium-sized group, whatever it may be. I'm active with people who are being active with our programs, with my customers, okay? Whether that's a primary building avenue for me or not, maybe not, but that's okay, right? I said you only have to be minimally proficient at all of these things. Just be in the game and be really good at one or two. Find your position. What's your position? The next is biz op sharing. You got to learn how to share the business opportunity. And I'll do a sample business opportunity presentation as we move along here, and we'll talk about where you can connect with some tools and resources to help you do that. But it's one of these categories. You got to have something going on in. It's great to share the products. It's great to invite people to challenge groups. Sometime, if you want to be on this pace, to build a business and to reach the kinds of things that we talked about earlier, then sharing the business opportunity has to be part of it. It just has to be part of what you do. It's got to be one of the categories that you're working in. And then finally, team development. And that's with your customers and your coaches. For those of us who've been around for a while and we've been on this pace, a cool thing that happens is you get a lot of customer leads that come through those customer lead programs, and that's an area, that's a category that you got to give some time. I know for me, it's one that I have to discipline myself to keep coming back to and making sure that I'm checking in with those people too, making sure that my system is up and running on how I'm communicating with those people, okay? And that includes your coaches too, customers and coaches. It's got to be one of the categories of activities that makes its way into your calendar, okay? And let me just say this, that the team development thing is something you don't want to get lost in. You need to be careful of. There's something that happens, we make it to Diamond or Star Diamond, and suddenly we want to be a manager, and we don't think this stuff applies to us anymore. And believe me, I've gone through that too. But the truth is, this stuff all falls under what we call phase one activities, phase one growth. And each and every one of us, whether we signed this morning or you're a 15-star Diamond Millionaire Club member, blah, 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 this is the stuff that keeps your business growing and that keeps the lifeblood moving through your business to give you that long-term sustainability, that healthy life that we've talked about wanting to build in our business. Okay, so I hope that makes sense, and I hope you now understand the pace that we want to be moving at. All right, so let's get back to work, let's get right on pace, and I'll see you next time.